piece of a broken plate was dug up in an archaeological site. It was it was put on top of a grid as shown in figure at the right, with the arc of the plate passing through A, -70 point B14 and point C72. Find its center and the standard equation of the circle describing the boundary of the plate. So since um the given points in this plate is random points of a circle, so we can't determine the center right away. So since these are not points of a diameter, so dili ni siya moagi sa center. So what shall we do is that we will identify the bisector lines of these points, because the bisector line sa point A and B and point B and C will always muagi na siya sa center. So to determine the center of this circle, we must identify the equation of the bisector lines. So kani siya. Bisector lines of AB and bisector line of BC. So let's start with identifying the bisector line of AB. First is we need to identify the midpoint of A and B kay diya nakalocate ang bisector line. So the midpoint of AB is equal to point A na to is -70, ang point B is 1.4. So the midpoint formula, add all the x and divide it by 2, add all the y and divide by 2. So -7 plus 1, that's -6, divide 2, it's -3, and 0 plus 4, that's 4 divide 2 is equal to 2. So this is the midpoint of AB. So let's label it as point M. Yeah, moagi ang bisector line. So the bisector line is the line of the midpoint of two lines dayon. Kana siya nga line is perpendicular to the line. So next is we identify the slope of the segment A and B, because this ilang slope ani the rise and the rhyme is inverse to the slope of the bisector line. Baliktad. Okay, so the formula for a slope M is equal to y minus y sub 1 over x minus x sub 1. So ang point na to is A and B. So let's determine the slope of line AB. So ang B is 4. So this is y sub y minus ang y sa A, which is 0. So that's negative. 4 minus 0 is 4 over x minus x sub 1. That's 1 minus -7, so plus 7. So 1 plus 8, 1 plus 7 is 8. So 4 over 8, or 1/2. This is the slope of line AB. So since we have the slope 1/2, this is the rise and the run, rise over run of line AB. This is the slope. Baliktad siya. Inverse siya sa iyang bisector line. So here, the bisector line, may mo siya 2/1. From positive, may mo siya negative. Negative 2/1. Because ang yung direction, ang yung run is positive, pero ang yung rise is pa down. So this is negative. So negative ang iyang slope. So ang slope sa itong bisector line na to, AB, ang iyang slope ani is negative 2/1. Since we have the slope of the bisector line and the midpoint, so we can determine the equation of the bisector line. Paano natin ihang equation? So using the point slope form, y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. So this is x sub 1 and y sub 1. So y minus 2 equals kadisya ang slope, which is negative 2/1 or negative 2 times x minus negative 3, so positive 3. So this is the point slope form of the bisector line. So let's continue. Y is equal to negative 2 times x, negative 2x. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6, and then transpose negative 2, so positive 2. So y is equal to negative 2x, and negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. This is the equation of the bisector of AB. Okay. Next is, we will determine the bisector of BC. Kanina po siya. Since ang dua ka bisector maagi sa circle, so kailangan na to ang isa pa ka, ang equation sa isa pa ka bisector. So there's one point P and point C ang atong gamiton. The same process, we will determine the midpoint of BC because that is the location of the bisector line of BC. So 1 plus 7 divide 2. So 8 divide 2 is 4. And then 4 plus 2, 4 plus 2 is 6, divide 2 is 3. So this is the coordinates of the midpoint of BC. Let's label it as point N at 4, 3. Next is the slope of BC. So M is equal to y minus y sub 1 over x over minus x sub 1. To determine this, ang slope sa BC is baliktad siya sa bisector line. So points sa BC, so 2. So y minus y sub 1, which is 4. That's negative 2 minus 4 is negative 2. 7. Ang x na to, 7 minus 1 is 6. So negative 2 over 6 or negative 1/3. So baliktad ang iyang slope sa atong bisector line sa slope sa BC. So may mo siya positive 3/1. Since negative man ang slope dire positive po. Rise upward, and then ang run is to the right, which are both positive. That's why ang slope is 3/1 positive. Since we have the slope of the bisector line and the midpoint or a point of a bisector line, so pwede na natin makuha ang iyang equation using the point slope form. So y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. Ang slope is 3, and then ang atong y x sub 1 and y sub 1 is 4 and 3. So y minus y sub 1, which is 3, is equal to, ang slope is 3 times the quantity of x minus ang x sub 1 is 4. So this is the equation of our bisector. Bisector of BC. So y is equal to 3 times x, 3x, 3 times negative 4, negative 12, transpose, positive 3. So y is equal to 3x minus 12 plus 3 is negative 9. So this is the equation of bisector of BC. Since we have the bisector, the equation of the bisectors already, we can get the point of intersection nila. Their point of intersection is at the center of the circle. So we will use system of equation to determine the center of the circle or their point of intersection. So equation is y is equal to negative 2x minus 4 and y is equal to 3x minus 9. Let's just cancel one of the variables. So ang pinakadali i-cancel ni is ang y. Ayun na variable. So let's subtract it. So if you're going to subtract that, all of the signs and adiri will be changed. So may mo siyang negative y, negative 3x, and positive 9. So y equals negative 2x minus 4, and then negative y is equal to negative 3x plus 9. Cancel y, that's 0. Negative 2x equals negative 2x minus 3x is 5, negative 5x. Negative 4 plus 9 is 5. Let's transpose this to the right. So 5x is equal to 5. And divide it by 5 para x na lang mabilin. So x is equal to 5 divided 5 is 1. So our x is equal to 1. Since we have our x, we can determine the y. So if our x is equal to 1, let's get the value of y. Pwede ang first equation, pwede ang second equation ang ato ang gamiton. So for this example, we use the second equation. Y is equal to 3x minus 9. So y is equal to 3 times 1. That's 3. So 3 minus 9 is negative 6. So y is equal to negative 6. So atong ang center is 1 and negative 6. We're not yet done. Let's determine the radius of the circle. Since we have the center and we have the points of the circle, we can determine the radius of the circle. So center is 1, negative 6. So we will use our standard equation, quantity of x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. Ang atong center is 1 and negative 6. So x minus 1 quantity squared plus y negative 6 times negative is positive 6. Quantity squared is equal to r squared. We can use any of the points like A, B, or C to determine the radius of the circle. For this example, we use point B, and 1, 4. So x nato is 1, minus h na is negative 1 squared plus ang y na is 4 plus k, which is 6, t squared is equal to r squared. So 1 minus 1 is 0. 4 plus 6 is 10. So 10 squared. So 10 squared is equal to r squared. So r squared is equal to 10 squared, which is 100. So ang atong r, ito siyang extract. So r is equal to square root of 100, which is 10. So that's our r. Since we have our radius and we have the center, we can determine the standard equation of our circle. So ang center is 1, negative 6, and radius is 10. So the standard equation of the circle is x minus 1 quantity squared plus y plus 6 quantity squared is equal to r squared, or 10 squared, or 100. It's equal to 100.